Hello everyone, I hope you guys are having a great day. The birds are chirping over here and I'm not going to complain because it's hump day and I am excited for this weekend. So tonight I am going to be making some stuffed chicken and I'm going to be making some sweet potato fries. I'm also going to try this new cheddar biscuit recipe. And then I'm also going to be making some green beans. So let's go ahead and get started. So first thing I'm going to do is just start the oven, preheat it. Alright, it's on 450. That's going to be for the chicken. I'm going to go ahead and start cutting up the potatoes because they're going to take a little bit longer. So let's go ahead and get going on that. So earlier this week I used regular potatoes. Today I'm going to use sweet potatoes. So I'm going to put these in there and wash them. I'm actually only going to use, these are a lot smaller than usual. So I'm going to go ahead and just wash these really quick. Alright, so I went ahead and washed the potatoes, and these just have a lot more going on than I want on my fries. That's how I'm going to cook these today. So I'm going to go ahead and just peel these really quick. Alright, so now I got those peeled. They look a little bit better. There was just so many imperfections on these potatoes. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut off the ends here. I was debating on what kind or how to cook these today, and I just settled on the fries. I like eating fries. That's probably one of my favorite foods. So that is how we are going to make them today. I don't make a lot of these ones. I have to say that I do like eating the fries from the regular potatoes better, but that's all right. So we're gonna cut these. I'm gonna try to cut them as even as I can. I want to cut these a little bit thinner than I do the other ones that I made, the other fries that I made. So we're not doing a seafood today. Today we are going to be making chicken, and I'm going to be stuffing it. I'm going to be using ricotta cheese, spinach, and then I'm going to be cutting up some onion and garlic and putting that in there as well. So these are all coming out about the same size, which is good. It just helps them cook easier when they are all about the same size. Alright. And I'm going to coat these in olive oil. I'm going to be putting a little bit of garlic powder on them. And then I will probably put a little bit of Parmesan cheese when they get out of the oven. These fries are a lot smaller than I was thinking in my head, just because these potatoes are really small. Normally the sweet potatoes that we get from the store are a lot bigger. Maybe it was just a bad store day, because I was going to get fresh green beans, but all the green beans that they had at the store were all bruised and just looked nasty. So I'm going to be using the frozen kind today, which there's nothing wrong with. I just prefer to eat the fresh ones. They just have that crunch, that crisp that the frozen ones do not. So, but it's all good. I'm thankful that I have something to eat. I think that sweet potatoes are not just something that you should eat on the holidays, like sweet potato souffle. I know that when I started eating a lot healthier, I incorporated these rather than just saving it for sweet potato souffle, which is all covered in yumminess, marshmallows and whatnot. But there's so many ways you can eat them not like that. One way that I want to try them is potatoes au gratin with sweet potatoes. I have not actually seen that many recipes with them like that. Most of the recipes that I see for potatoes au gratin are just made with regular potatoes. But I wonder what I could put in there that would taste good with that. Maybe we could try to do like a sweet potato souffle, but in the potatoes au gratin. How does that sound? If you have any thoughts on what I could put in that, let me know and maybe I'll try it. Sweet potatoes are really good for you. It's when you start putting on the marshmallows and the brown sugar, then it becomes not so healthy. But it's good. And you at least gotta have that once a year. I mean, you gotta be able to have a little bit of fun in your life. So thank you so much to those who have subscribed to my channel. I now have 5 subscribers. That makes me super excited. I know that this is going to take a lot of time to get subscribers, so I'm trying to be patient. Good things take time. I'm hoping one day I'll just wake up and there will be like 1 million people following me. But it's the little things. So thank you so much to those who have followed me and have watched my videos. I'm still learning how to make them, and it can be a little nerve-wracking sometimes, because sometimes I get a little nervous and I don't really know what to say on the videos, but I just have to remind myself to just be myself. Let who I am show through the videos. So thank you so much for your patience with that and for watching my videos. And if anybody wants to join me and be in some of these videos, let me know. I'm actually looking for someone who wants to collab with me doing the podcast ideas that I have, because I want to be able to incorporate, more people into it. It makes it more fun when you have more people involved instead of just one person. You have more conversation, and it's just more fun that way. All right, so I am almost done cutting up the potatoes. I think that they look pretty good. They're gonna be a little bit smaller, but that's fine. These ones are gonna be bigger because the potato was bigger. I don't know, just going to Kroger today, it was just, the food was just a little off, but that's all right. It's gonna taste good. I can guarantee you that. And I'm really excited for this stuffed chicken. I really like using ricotta cheese. I was debating on whether or not I should get cottage cheese, but I decided, nah, we're just gonna do the ricotta cheese, which is super yummy. And I don't do a lot of stuffed chicken. And so my dad is still sick, because I was saying in the beginning, the first video that I did, normally I don't cook. Normally my dad does, because he works from home while me and my mom are at work. And then we were just so spoiled. We came home and food would be done, which I was so thankful for my dad doing that. But he is still sick. He has a sinus infection. They went to the doctor today. So, but I'm actually really enjoying this cooking, and now that I have my own car, thank you Jesus for that. Now that I have my own car, I'm coming home earlier, not having to ride with my mom, and so I just pick my son up and then I come home earlier. So I am actually thinking about doing these more, and I've gotten just a lot of response, a lot of feedback on Instagram, and people liking the videos and watching them. So I'm thinking about just continuing it.
one day I would love to be married and, you know, food, knowing how to cook is so important. I have heard from married people. I have one guy at my job whose wife is just such a good cook. And I know this just because of his stories. I've never tasted any of her food yet, but he comes in every Monday and just tells me about all the yummy stuff that she made over the weekend. And he told me he was gonna bring me some cake. So I'm excited for him to do that. So cooking, obviously super important. All right, almost done with these potatoes here. Kind of trying to rush through it because I have church tonight. But we gotta be able to eat. Some of these are gonna look a little weird. Little potato, little French fry, odd shaped. So do you guys normally dip your sweet potato fries in ketchup? I normally dip my regular potatoes, my regular fries in honey mustard. I do not like ketchup and mayo. Maybe it's just because, actually it definitely is 100% because of the ingredients, and I have not found out how to make one on my own. So once I know how to make a ketchup on my own, I will be trying it. But I just use honey mustard, but I don't think I'm gonna use honey mustard for these. So I'm gonna just sprinkle in some olive oil on the pan. I'm gonna put these on there. Put the sweet potatoes. All right, I think these are gonna fit on here good. You don't want it to crowd too much. Oh, throw that one away. All right, so I'm trying to just make it even on here. That way it cooks nice and even. All right, I'm gonna put some more olive oil on the top. It's important to put it on the bottom of the pan too because you don't want the fries to stick. All right, I'm gonna add some black pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt using the sea salt, but not too much. Oh, might help if it's open. This stuff comes out a lot slower, which I like, because I have in the past just done like this and it was a mess. All right, so I'm also gonna be using some garlic powder on here. Oh, hold up. I have one that's already open. I don't know how that other one got in there. All right, so we got some garlic powder right here. And then I'm gonna put some cheese on there after they're done cooking. So the oven is already going, or already preheated, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these in. And now I'm gonna get started on what's gonna be going into the chicken. So I'm going to cut up some garlic. There's that trick, if you haven't seen it, you just push the garlic with the knife, just push it down, and it just like, it smushes it off. So then the coating comes off so easy, because that can be such a pain sometimes. I'm trying to get all that off. All right, so I'm just gonna cut the garlic here. Try to cut it as small as possible. Mince, I believe, is the correct term. I'm gonna try to mince this garlic. It makes your fingers super sticky. All right, and should I use purple onion or yellow onion? I think I'm gonna use yellow onion, although I do really like purple onions as well. But that, we're not gonna do those today. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the pan just to brown those a little bit. Added a little bit of olive oil in there. Now I'm going to mince the onions. I am not going to cook the spinach before I put it in the chicken. I normally do whenever I do make stuffed chicken, but I'm not going to do it today. I want to see what happens. I want to see if it's going to cook the same rather than it being already wilted. All right. So we got that. I'm going to go ahead and move the olive oil around on the pan, get it all on there. So I'm going to put the oven just for 15 minutes. I'll check the potatoes, turn them over. So I'm going to put in the onions and the garlic. I'm not going to put them in there for too long. I just want them to get a little bit more cooked. Alright, so we're going to put in the spinach. I have a bowl right here. This is what I'm going to put all the spices and stuff in. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up the spinach. I'm debating whether or not I should use all that. I guess I'm really just going to use this because I think there's only like 5 pieces or so of the chicken. It's either 4 or 5 because my son normally doesn't eat the whole chicken. I'm just going to kind of rip these bigger chunks in there. And I guess I am going to cook these a little bit just because it's going to make it easier to go in. Now that I'm actually seeing the spinach and seeing how big it is, I think I'm just going to cook it a little bit before I put it in there. I cook with the stems on. Some people don't. I take out, it's just some of the pieces, but for the most part, I eat the stems. And I'm going to kind of try to take all these. This one had a bigger amount of them. So I'm going to take some of those out. Not all of them, though. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and give these a stir really quick. Alright, so in the bowl, there's my spinach over there. In the bowl, I'm going to put some ricotta cheese. I got the organic kind. It just had a lot less in it. So we're going to put some of that in there. This says easy peel. This is not peeling easily. Man. Alright. So I'm just going to take out some of that. I'm so excited to eat this already. I'm going to check on the onions, garlic. That needs a little bit more time. So now we're going to just season this. I'm going to put some more salt. It's really big chunks, so it's kind of hard for it to come out of there. I'm going to put some pepper. I'm going to put in garlic powder, onion powder, and then I want it to have a little bit of spice, so I'm going to add some red cayenne pepper. This stuff never wants to come out. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and give that a stir, and then I'm going to put in the onions. So I'm just stirring that up. And see, these are not like very cooked, just a little bit. And I'm gonna just put the spinach in there just for a little bit, just to let it wilt. All right. So I'm going to mix that up. ricotta cheese, and I'm gonna put the spinach in there. I'm gonna go get one other thing. Alright, so I just got another little cutting board. I'm gonna just put this one on top for the chicken. And I'm gonna use the serrated knife to cut the chicken. So these are, we buy them in the big packs and we just take it apart and we separate them by how many people we have in the house. There are 5 of us here now. And then we just freeze them like that. So then when we do take them out, they're already in the amount that we need them to be. Alright, so we have the chicken breast. And these are already, like, we washed all these, and I thought there was more in here, but that's cool. Alright, I'm just going to rip some of that off. Alright, and then I'm just going to kind of flatten them out a little bit. Alright, and then I'm going to, I actually need to wash my hands really quick because I need to stir up the spinach here. Alright, so I'm definitely happy then that I didn't do all of that spinach because I thought there was more chicken in here, but it's all good. I'm going to go ahead and before I cut those, because I need to make sure I stir up the spinach, I'm going to get some butter out. Alright, I had to pause the video because my son literally just brought in some really big bug to show it to me, and I'm not a big bug fan. Alright, so I'm going to cut up some of the butter. This is going to go on the chicken when I put it in there, just to cook it with the chicken. So I just cut that into just little pieces. I'm going to just put that in with the chicken. Still put some olive oil on it thick too though. Alright, so now we got the spinach wilted a little bit. I'm going to put it in the bowl. And then I'm going to stir that around. Get that nice and good. Alright, cool. So that's what that looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the chicken. Well, before I guess I'm gonna be cooking it in this pan, and I'm gonna be adding a little bit of olive oil in there. There's like little fuzz in there or something. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. So I'm gonna cut it on the flat side, and then I'm just gonna kind of go around, kind of try to get it in the middle as much as possible. And as deep as possible because I want to be able to get a lot of filling in here. Alright, so it's open there, you can see. Still just a little part right there. Alright, so that's nice and open. That's good. I'm actually going to cut it a little bit further back without trying to poke a hole through it. Alright, so that's good. And then this one, let's see where the best to cut it would be. This right here. I'm trying to cut it in the middle as much as possible so that way when it's cooking, it's kind of even throughout it. Alright, cut that one, if you can see it. Alright. So now I'm going to put the chicken in here. Just open it up. I have the really weird thing about my hands being dirty. Alright, so we got that in. I'm going to just touch it with my chicken fingers because I'm just going to wash all this. Alright. And as always, don't forget to wash your hands before you make anything, because people don't want your germs. Alright, so I'm just going to split this up into 2 equal parts. If I had more chicken, I would split it up evenly that way. And then I'm just going to shove it in there, and I'll kind of show you what that looks like before I put it into the oven. So now we got all the goodness in there. Trying to make sure that it's even in there. This one can have a little bit more because that's what I got. Alright, so, and then I'm just going to lay them on the side. They're nice and full. Alright, so now I'm going to put all this over here and wash my hands really quick. Alright, my hands are washed. I'm going to add just a little bit more olive oil onto the chicken. And then I'm going to put in these pieces of butter. So that way chicken stays good. Alright, so this is what it looks like. So we got the chicken is nice and shoved in there. If you can see all that. So we got olive oil in the pan, olive oil on the chicken, and then the butter on top. Alright, and then so I totally just realized the most important thing ever, that I did not season my chicken. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have to make this work. Alright, so a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I'm just going to keep the flavor consistent with what's going on in there. I cannot believe that I forgot to... See, making these videos make me nervous. But I'm going to get it, I promise. Alright, cool. So then I'm just going to flip with this hand, so that way I can still get, do the spices. I cannot believe I forgot to do that. Well, okay, so step number 1 before you do this is to season the chicken. Alright. And I'm just seasoning it with what's inside of the mixture. So now I'm going to flip it back over. Even though you have stuff on the inside, you still have to season the chicken. So, but I'm happy I realized that before I brought it out to my family, because we would have sent that back. Okay, so now I'm gonna wash my hands again. Alright, so now I washed my hands, so now this is what it looks like. Seasoned, stuff inside, butter on top, olive oil. So now I'm gonna put this in there. Alright, so the potatoes are still going. So to the green beans now. Alright, so normally I get the fresh ones. Today we're doing the frozen ones. These are still the long French style ones. So I don't have to boil these. Or not boil, I steam them, not boil. So I don't have to steam them because they're pretty much already done. So I'm just going to put them in the pan, get them warm, and then I'm going to, because these are going to have so much water in them and I don't want them to be watery, I'm going to get all that water out. Alright, so now we're going to come over here for a little bit just so I can do the green beans. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get this started. I'm going to put a little olive oil in the pan. And then just throw the green beans in there. So normally these would have been steamed first, and that's a pretty simple process. You just snap the ends off of the green beans, wash them, steam them for about 5 minutes, and then you would put them in the pan to saute them and do all the seasoning. So the sweet potatoes. So these have now been in there for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna just flip them over. Nothing is sticking, so that's really good. Alright, we're just gonna stir those. These still need some more time. Alright, just trying to flatten them out again. Alright, so we got them flattened back out. Oh, we really got them flattened back out. This one just didn't want to. Alright, so now we're going to put these back in. Now I'm going to put them in there for 15 minutes. They are in there with the chicken. Alright, I'm going to taste test this little sweet potato that got smushed. Alright, so we got these going. Let's go ahead and get started on the cheddar biscuits. That's my favorite part. Alright, so now we're going to get started on the cheddar biscuits. I feel exposed. I need to move the camera angle. Alright, much better. Now we're going to get started. So I'm doing gluten-free. It just helps keep down the inflammation in my lymph nodes and my chest due to the sarcoidosis. So that's why we're doing it this way. So I am going to be using coconut flour today. I made it with almond flour. It was good, but we're going to use coconut flour. So I'm going to put in 1/3 cup of coconut flour. I buy mine from Sprouts, my flour from Sprouts. They have pretty good pricing and you're able to get more for less. Alright, the next thing I'm going to add is baking powder. I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of this. Alright, throw that in there. This called for 4 tablespoons of butter melted. So I'm gonna, just because I have to get ready to go to church tonight, I'm going to the fast route. Alright, so, man, I just pulled this out today and it's already almost gone. That's alright. I use a lot of butter. But this is butter instead of margarine, so it's better for you, right? Alright, I'm going to go ahead and stir these green beans really quick. Alright, let's go ahead and pop this butter in the microwave. Alright, so I did 15 seconds in there. It's nice and melted. There's like a little chunk, but that's okay. Alright, I'm just going to stir that up really quick. The next thing I'm going to add is 4 eggs. I'm so happy I had these. I've really been craving cornbread, but I'm still trying. I can't eat corn either because corn also helps cause inflammation. So I am coming up experimenting with lots of things to see what I can come up with gluten-free and corn-free cornbread. So it won't be like cornbread because there's no corn. But we're gonna figure out how to make it work. Alright, so 4 eggs in here. Alright, let me rinse off my fingers. Alright. So normally I would use, beaters to make this, but I'm not. There's no excuse for it. I just didn't get it out. So it does make it easier though, because this. Alright, so I tried to find our beaters, but the little whisk part, I don't know where it is. So I'm gonna use a fork because it's a little easier. That's a lot easier than a little wooden spoon. So I'm gonna try to get that nice and good. But if you have beaters, I would definitely recommend using that. I think it's just beater instead of beaters. But if you have that, I would recommend using it. Alright, so I'm just gonna stir that up. Alright, so the recipe that I found called for sour cream, but I have ricotta cheese that I was using anyways, so I'm gonna just use some of this. So it said 2 spoonfuls of that. There, that's 2 spoonfuls. Sometimes you just gotta make it work with what you got. Because these are actually cheddar biscuits, and all I have is Colby Jack cheese. I'm slipping today. Alright, so I'm just gonna stir that in there. Alright, now we're gonna season it up a little bit. I'm gonna use some salt, if it would come out properly. A little bit of pepper. I need to see if I can come up with something that would taste like those cheddar biscuits from, not Outback, Red Lobster. Oh man, if I could find some that tasted like that, I would be so excited because I know those are not gluten-free. Alright, and then I'm going to add some other seasonings in here just to try to make it a little bit more like Italian-y, I guess. So I'm going to add some oregano to it. Alright, so that's an interesting consistency. Alright, and then the most important thing, most important thing ever, we're going to add the cheese. But first I'm going to stir up the green beans. Alright, so they're doing good in there. I'm going to grate some cheese. So I have Colby Jack, or as my son calls it, cow cheese. And then my oh so fancy grater, because it's got that little tray in there. Helps hold the cheese and it measures it. So we are going to do, it called for 1.5. So I'm just going to grate the cheese until we reach 1.5. So what made me want these biscuits, try to find a good one, is because I was watching one of my favorite videos, YouTube series, and that is Righteous and Ratchet. And they were talking about which bread is best. They were doing the One Gotta Go. And if you don't watch that podcast, I'm going to just put a link to the video underneath my video, because that's literally one of my favorites. It just makes my whole Wednesday while I'm at work, because I listen to it while I'm at work. So they were talking about which bread is better, and I definitely went with the Red Lobster cheddar biscuits. And then I was like, you know what, I want to make some of my own. So maybe I can have them on as special guests one day and say, hey, taste my cheddar biscuits. Are these better than Red Lobster? Alright, I was trying to look at it sideways, but I really can't. Okay, so that's a little bit more. A little bit more than I needed, but I don't think you can really ever have too much cheese. Alright, so next we're just going to throw those in there. Oh man, this bowl just got a lot smaller. So I'm just gonna mix in the cheese to this. This already looks good. I'm sure this is what the biscuits look like at Red Lobster when they're getting mixed up back there and prepared. What do you think, Doughboy and Kev on stage? Does this look like what Red Lobster biscuits would look like before they're cooked? Does it look good? Alright, so we got that in there. Got that going. Alright, cool. So next we're going to just put it in the muffin tins. That's what I'm going to put these in. So I'm just going to put a little bit of olive oil in there, like a little, just like a little bit. And then I'm going to spread it around. I'm going to get like a little piece of paper towel. I don't want to waste a whole piece, so I gotta get that. So I just fold it up and then I put it around just to move all the oil around there. You can also use coconut oil with this. I've used coconut oil to oil pans. That works pretty good. Alright, so now we got those. Now I'm just going to evenly distribute these. I'm just going to use my fork. They're pretty moist, so I'm excited. I think that these are going to be good. I've tried some gluten-free recipes, and they were just so dry. You needed a whole glass of milk, which I can't drink milk, even though I still eat cheese. That is the I can't let that go. Cheese? What would I do if I didn't have cheese? All right, so I'm just gonna kind of put those in. And I might have to use the other one, which is fine, because if these things taste as good as they are looking and smelling, I'm going to be excited to have extra. I don't think it's all going to fit in a whole new pan, but that's fine. How many do I think it's probably just going to be like 2. I hate to use this whole thing for just 2, but I have to make it. Dang, that was a lot of olive oil. Okay. So, I'm going to put those in here. Yeah, 2 is good. I just made one dirty. Alright, that's fine. So I'm going to try to get all of that out of there. And these don't take very long. Alright, so we got mostly all of that out. So it said that these take about 8 minutes. Alright, so we got the gluten-free biscuits. So we're going to go ahead and get those in the oven. Alright, so the green beans are ready. They've been sauteed. I'm going to put some butter in there, season them a little bit. Food is almost done. Alright, so we're going to put a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I think I put back my butter. Alright, so let me get that back out. And I'm going to just put a little bit in there. Alright, so we're going to put the butter in. Alright. So the oven beeped for the sweet potatoes and the chicken. So we're going to check these. Sweet potatoes look good. I'm gonna go ahead and flip them. They're still not sticking, so that's good. Honestly, these really didn't even come out as fries, but that's alright. I think it's just because the potatoes were small. So they're more like long diced potatoes. But that's fine, because those still taste good. And really, these don't need that much longer. But we're gonna go ahead and check on the chicken. Alright, so that is looking pretty good. Alright, so I had to get a knife to check the chicken, so I'm just going to cut it and see. So it still needs about another 15 minutes, but the fries don't, so I'm going to go ahead and take those out. Alright, so I'm going to put the chicken in. Oh, that steam. Alright, so this needs about another 15 minutes. The potatoes are done. I'm going to go ahead and put the biscuits in. And we're almost done. I'm going to put them all on the top shelf. Alright. Before that thing beeps again. Alright, 15 minutes. I'm going to move these to one side so I can put some cheese on there. So these are done. Yeah. Alright, so this is pre-grated from another video. I just bought the block and then just grated it, and then I just put it in the refrigerator and just use it when needed. So I'm going to just spread it out so they're kind of close. I don't want to waste this because this is some expensive cheese. And that'll give it time to melt on there. Alright. So I think I want to add a little bit of garlic into the green beans. So I'm going to go ahead and mince up some garlic and throw it in there. Alright, so I'm going to take the green beans out of here.
Use that other pan to do the garlic.
And I'm going to put them in here so that way this is where I'm going to serve them in. So I'm just going to mince up some garlic. I'm going to use my bread-shaped cutting board here. Thought I lost my garlic, but it was hiding under my speaker. Alright, so I'm going to peel this.
You know you're going to need garbage. Sometimes it's helpful to have a bag. Just throw everything in the bag as you go along.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and do this. Put a little bit of olive oil in there. Just to give the green beans a little bit of an extra flavor.
stuff we have outside.
All right.
Do you hear me?
Got that? Yes. It does not take long for garlic to cook, and even though that doesn't look like a lot, it doesn't take much for it to flavor. I'm gonna put my green beans over here. These are pretty much done. They've been buttered and seasoned. We're just gonna put the garlic on there. And then the potatoes are done. They've been seasoned. Got the cheese. So we're just waiting on the chicken and the biscuits, and those have 11 more minutes. And then we'll be all done, ready to eat. Just waiting patiently. It doesn't take that long to cook. Alright, so I'm just going to add that in there. Stir it up in there a little bit. And that'll sit and just wait for a little bit while everything else is cooking. Try to get all my garlic. Alright, so the chicken is waiting on it. It still has about 10 more minutes. So I'm just going to go ahead and just end the video. Please be sure to check out what the end result is on Instagram. I'll make sure that I snap a photo of it when everything is done. So thank you very much for tuning in. If you have watched this far, this video so far is 52 minutes long. So if you have stayed and watched, thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Please give this video a like and subscribe below, please. And if you have any tips or tricks or comments, please leave them below, or feedback. And if you have anything that you would like to see me make in the future, let me know, and I'd be glad to make those. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you.